All right, so if you look behind me, you'll see all the crabbing gear that I've used this entire year. Now, some of it has worked really well and some of it hasn't. I'm gonna rank them from worst to best. Top 5 right here. I'm gonna go with number 5. Now, right here, I have 2 different types of ringnets I use. Tsunami, I wouldn't recommend getting this, ever. I think it's a terrible net. It hasn't worked for me at all. And then I got here the Palmyth. It's a good net, actually, but I rank these 5th because I don't think that they're that consistent, and I feel like a lot of times the crabs are actually scared of this and they don't really go in it. It happens to me all the time where I'm crabbing and I just can't get the crab to actually go in the net. So it happens a lot. These are good. I mean, they're really fun. I like to use them, but I mean, I get a little bit bored up there too sometimes. So I'm just sitting there waiting for this to work. I'd rather go get them with a net. If you're gonna get a ring net, get one with quality. Like, you can get this right here for probably about like $5–10 online or even at Walmart. But look at this. This is like a couple years of work. I mean, it's completely broken. It's not gonna do me any good this way. I'm never catching a crab with this again, and it gets tangled all the time. I mean, it's probably tangled right now. Like, look at this. Just an absolute mess. Now this right here, I mean, this is great because what happens is you can really work with it. You have a long string. This is a couple months old, about 6 months old, and you can see that's in great shape still. Might be a little bit warped right there, but this is in great shape still. If I was gonna get one, I'd actually put a little bit of money into it and get them. I think I got these for 2 for $70, which is a little more expensive, but I could have gotten 7 of these and they'd all be broken. I'd rather have 2 that aren't broken of a actual good product. So my number 4 crabbing style that I like to use, these are ranked in order from my favorite to my least favorite. I have here crab lines. I mean, you can get these for about $3, or you can just get string, tie it on, and then just tie on the chicken at the bottom, or just get a zip tie, put it onto this or something like that. I've tied this on the chicken before and caught a lot of crabs with it, but one of my problems with this style of crabbing is that the crabs like to let go a lot, and it makes me very, very angry. I always am just like, what is going on? Why are you letting go? Sometimes it's the shadow. I have no idea really sometimes, but sometimes crabs are a little more finicky with this. I think when it comes to spots to crab, I mean, this is great for being in the mangroves, whereas ringnets here are really good to crab with bridges, piers, things like that. It's really good. It works really well for that kind of area. This right here, you're not going to be doing this off a bridge very often. It's just not going to work that well. You're going to have a lot of problems. You're going to lose a lot of crabs. You can definitely get some, but a lot of times they'll let go before you even get them close. Especially if they see you. If they see you, they're done. They're gone. But I think this is just tried and true forever, and it's really fun to use. Really cheap way to get started if you're actually getting into crabbing. Honestly, I would recommend doing it. It's fun. It's easy. Kids love it. It's just an easy way to get started. So if I was getting started crabbing right now, like tomorrow, I'd probably just go out and get a bunch of strings and tie them onto a stick and then put the stick in the ground and just see what happens from there. I'm gonna go with my number 3 here. So I have 2 different versions of this actually now. You can see they're about a little bit different size. This one's a little bit bigger and this one's a little bit smaller. I can't remember the names. I'll actually put a link in the description to everything in this video. So if you are looking to purchase something that you try, give it a shot. I'll put the prices down with it as well. So right here you have one brand of castable traps. I'll put the link to this exact type of trap. As you can see, one of the problems here, it's getting a little bit rusty here on this one. I never wash them. I'm kind of lazy when it comes to that kind of stuff. This one right here hasn't really rusted, but you can see it is starting a little bit right there. But it's also a lot newer. But one of my problems with this other brand here, these were cheaper. I think they were 3 for like $45 or $15 a piece. These ones, they don't really. Here, let's just pull it out and show you. Jesus Christ, this takes forever. Look at that, getting caught up in that crappy ring net. Just get that out of here. I mean, they're pretty easy to work, but look at this. Sometimes it doesn't close all the way. So see how that's just not even closing all the way when I'm pulling it? I have to really tug it, and like that'll happen a lot. So that becomes a little bit of a problem here, because if a bigger crab sometimes will just get out. When I try to actually close this, it's gonna close a lot better. Now, that becomes a little bit more handy for me. I think it's just a better product and you're more likely to get the crab. Whereas if I lift this, see, it didn't even close all the way. I have to give it so much pressure to actually get it to close, and it just becomes a little bit of a problem. So if you're actually gonna get one of these, I'd say you get this brand, and I'll put that link in the description and a word above my head with the brand name. Now, these are also really great because you can get them to a lot more places. Like you can actually tie them onto a fishing rod. I call them castable traps. And you can just send this sucker out 50 to 100 feet away from you and get it to open up wide. The best way is actually to frisbee them out like that, which I do that a lot. You probably see that in a lot of my videos if you've been watching. But these work great. I think they're really fun. They're really convenient. These are definitely my number 3. My number 2, everything's moving out of the way now. I would say crab traps. Now there's 2 types of crab traps that I have. So this first one right here, this is your multiple compartment trap right here. You have here the bait in the center here, which is really nice. And that goes down on the bottom when you lay it. As you can see, I have the rope tied off to the top. And then the crabs will come in here, and then they'll come out the top and go in here instead of escape through the actual rings that they came in on. It has 4 openings, which is really nice. And then I have my other trap. This one here is the older trap. You can get these for about 50 bucks at Walmart. They've worked for me for years, but they do get old. So let's just show you that real quick. Just once they get a little bit old, they start to fall apart. You can see this one right here. It's just a total and complete disaster. I mean, look at that. I have to repair that. You can see it just came right off the whole thing. The pieces are broken. There's holes in it. I mean, look at that hole right there. This is just a mangled mess. Like, this might be beyond repair. That's a massive hole. Your crab can easily escape through that right there, which is it's such a problem. So I try not to use these as much. If I was to buy new ones, I'd probably go with these ones here, just because they're a lot better. They hold crabs longer, but I haven't really used it that much this year, just because I got it towards the end of the season, really. Once it gets to winter time, it's a little bit slower for crabs, so I've taken a little break. Whereas these right here, these are very convenient. I mean, if you're on a budget, these are about 50 bucks, and they're worth it. You can get them for sometimes like 30 to 50 in that range at like Walmart or online. I don't know if there's a link to them or anything like that. These, you typically have to find them from somebody that's actually making traps. Now, you could definitely make your own. They don't look terribly difficult to make. If I was to buy one again, I'd probably go through Wishard Wire. They're a pretty popular company around here. I have no idea what these names are, what brand this is. I have no idea. I don't even care. They work. I use them. If I have them, I use them. You know what I mean? When I've tested them, I've actually caught more crabs in this trap here than I have in this trap. So kind of interesting there. But I'm going to go into my last one. This is my favorite, and that would be nets. Now, I use 2 different types of nets. I use here just like a cheap net sometimes, because sometimes I just don't feel like paying a lot of money for a nice net. And then I have here the Cummings net. This thing is fantastic. I'd like to get a wired net at some point, but I don't think that's really in the budget. They're kind of expensive. They're like $80 for a net. This was 50, but you can get it online on their website for 35, which if I'm getting another net, I'm probably gonna go with this, just because I don't care if I have to fight a crab out of this. It's not a really big deal to me. Built to last strong. I have so much fun with this. If I'm out crabbing with nets, like that's my game, man. That's like, it's like a sport to me, not just crabbing. It's more of a sport, and you're just out here having a good time, just chasing down crabs in shallow water, which is very difficult to find spots that you can actually use both of these at the same time. Like, so most of the time you usually got to use bait, like a chicken line, which makes the chicken line a lot of fun. But this right here, if I don't have to use any bait, I'm really happy without using any bait. Like, I love crabbing without bait because it doesn't attract any alligators, and you're just out there having a good time. If you're gonna get anything, get into crabbing, my recommendation would be to do this. And then also, I would get a couple chicken lines and just try those out, try the nets out. If I was gonna get a net, I would get a nicer net. These break all the time. Let me go show you real quick. As you can see right here, that totally busted. It's not really, I don't think it's worth your money. If you're gonna buy a net, get something that's a little bit better, because to be honest with you, I spent $50 on this. I have spent probably hundreds of dollars on nets like this that are broken, and they'd last me a couple months, like a couple years maybe, if that, if I'm lucky. Like, look at this. This is actually straight up glued together at the top right here. If you can see that, that's glue in there. I think the glue's actually gone. The glue's gone. I've only had this for about a month. It was I think it was like $10 at Walmart, and I needed a net because my buddy was coming with me and I was out of nets, because all my other nets like this have broken and they're just a pain in the butt. It's made of wood, it's garbage, whereas this is aluminum. An aluminum net is really nice. Now, there is a problem with these. When I did crabbing on a horse farm, I dove in, I can't even get it apart now. It's usually an extendable. This can typically go out to about 10 feet. The bottom here kind of pushed in a little bit too, not a big deal. But this is all you really need, a nice net that you can just kind of go around and snag them up with there. You know what I mean? Now, what's nice about when you set traps, you don't really have to do a lot of work. You can kind of just sit back and relax and let the traps do their job. Whereas this is active crabbing. You have to be chasing these suckers down like crazy in order to actually get them, which I think is so much fun, dude. If I was gonna go crabbing, this is the way I want to do it. If I have to do it, I'll do this. I enjoy it. And I really don't enjoy doing ringnets that much. They're just kind of a pain in the butt. And I think they're definitely the worst of all the styles. Crab traps are great because they just kind of collect crabs for you while you're doing nothing, sitting back and relaxing. Whereas the crab lines take a little bit of time. I am breathing heavy. I need to work out. I wanted to tell you too, none of these companies have ever paid me 1 cent to do a video like this. I've actually never made 1 penny from any of these products. This is my honest opinion, and I hope you enjoyed it. But honestly, I think these will work for you. If you get started with crabbing in this coming year or next year, whenever you do, this is a good way to start. You might spend a little bit of money, but hey, it's worth it. I think you start catching crabs and then you're not buying crabs anymore.